So now, karibu to Albo wa Cinema. Been off just kidogo. Tunaendelea to build some environments for Book of Car. It's been quite hectic, but it's wonderful. Now, before we go on, please subscribe real quick. The road to 10,000. Then after, you can leave a comment, leave a like for the algorithm. Now, I wanted to react to the review of Fantastic Four First Steps from Film Threat, this channel that I normally watch for news from entertainment in the movie industry, especially there in America. So these guys actually have they do reviews of all types of movies, indie movies, very pro indie movie channel. So please go subscribe over there to Film Threat. So let's listen to what they thought about Fantastic Four. Now this is their reaction, what they thought of the movie. I think I saw something like outside the theater kind of let's check. Let's see. There's there's a short. Did they do a short video? Let me see. Shorts? No. And let's see. Fantastic Four, the best since Endgame. Huh. The future of super. Okay, so I don't know where I saw. I saw like a short video where they were just outside the theater. Maybe they removed that. Anyway, now we are going to react to what they thought about the Fantastic Four. I'm going to watch it the next week or so and do my own review. So I'm going to be ramp. Some of this I get other people's opinions. I go and watch for myself, and then to you. Now my straw, Tyler Perry's thing is the review will be up tomorrow. Just finished editing it. I've been kind of between jobs. I go shoot somewhere. There's some things I'm doing. So, day job maneros for production. So sometimes it leans over a bit too much. So I finished that yesterday. I have a few things to wrap up. Then I'll post it tomorrow for you to see if you like the new way that I'll be doing those reviews. Sawa, let's continue with Film Threats.
And now, Alan, it's time. Let's review the Fantastic Four First Steps.
I think it's spoiler free. I think
this is a big one for me because.
Where's my bling?
And by the way, this will be spoiler free. We will not talk about the second half of the movie. We'll do that in a spoiler review Friday once the movie is out, and you can participate in the conversation because you will have seen it, or you have chosen to not care about spoilers. I will say most of what's on Reddit is pretty accurate. Most. So there you go.
Can I read my first paragraph of the review as part of explaining the plot?
Please,
okay,
let's do it. We'll get into it.
This is the plot, or at least the first part of the plot. The Fantastic Four First Steps opens with our heroes at home. Sue Storm is on the can staring at a pregnancy test. Reed Richards enters, focused on finding iodine. She tells him she's pregnant, and Reed is stunned but positive. Meanwhile, Johnny and Ben are making dinner with the robot called Herbie. When Sue and Reed arrive late, the news is shared and everyone is happy. Yes, this is how the movie spends its first 20 minutes.
Hey, what's up, guys? I found this beer left over from some campers, and I'm totally wasted. I'm sorry I bumped the camera.
69.
Well, that's true. That is true. But the main thing is, where does this...
I don't know. What would that be a good thing unless if it's just, oh, she's pregnant. Would that be enough for like 20 minutes? Well, I guess. I don't know.
Rank with Marvel and everything going on with the superhero genre. And here's what I'll say off the top. I like this movie better than Superman. It's more focused on a smaller group of characters. It has a singular big threat.
Now, that's one of the biggest problems that a lot of the current movies have, especially the superhero genre. For example, you'd have Superman. They has so many of these side characters. side plots that don't really culminate in anything per se. They're just introducing someone to like plug a plot hole or something. So they never get to, there are so many characters involved, they never get to really develop them any way significantly, except maybe through some long expositions. Oh, this guy was this and that. They give you like a 30-second flashback, that kind of thing. So what happens to that, especially because if you notice, the Avengers, the entire series from the first movie, it took 10 plus years, I believe. So they had to take each character, develop them with their own movies, and then to get slowly the story starts coming together. You know, they kept on testing Thanos. If you look at the first renders of Thanos, it was when the technology was not so good. You could tell, but they just touched on it just a bit, just left you hanging. Then the other movie, they'll just touch on it a bit. So it took a very long time to be able to develop all these characters and the plot to a point where it became the biggest franchise of all time. Now they try to do that in 1 or 2 movies. So you realize so many characters, forget all the wokeness and what, they have these characters that don't have any basis. When something happens to them, you don't really care, you know, because you don't really have any attachment to them, because they have not been introduced to you properly over, you know, for you to care about them. What are they about? Why should I care about this character? And that's really the problem that most writers are running into these days. Because while you want to do kind of like something fast and bubblegummy, it still doesn't hit the same when the characters are shallow. So yeah, so this is the purpose of this kind of reviews, because then we can really talk about filmmaking, really the nitty-gritties of that kind of work.
And the way that Marvel has handled comedy has really actually hurt Marvel films, because the events, there is humor in this film, but it is character driven humor, not driven by the events. The problem I have with the way that
that's not really right. You know, either way you can do it. But you see, the problem with comedy is that to write jokes is actually hard. So you have to get somebody who's actually funny to do that. The problem is a lot of these people think they are, because in their little circle, somebody laughs at your silly jokes and you think you're funny. Whatever the case may be, they don't hit the same. If you look at, say, the romantic comedies and even the other comedies, say, of the 90s, early 2000s, you couldn't stop laughing because everything was written by high quality comedy writers. You know, people who know how to write actual jokes. It's a talent, by the way. Not just everyone can do it. I can't do it. So that's why I don't even go near comedy movies, because I need the real thing. I need jokes that are not extracted from memes on social media. I need originality. And the way to do that is to have the best script possible from somebody who's an actual comedian who can write really good jokes. So what they've done is that while they changed a lot of their writing stuff, actors and whatnot, they just introduced the identity politics. And most of the people they were hiring, because they are women or black or gay or this, were not actually real talent. You know, industry plants, we call them. They just put there for the ideological purposes. They can go out there and behave gay even if they're straight. Can go there and pander to black people when you're white. Oh, are black people the best in the world?
Marvel has used humor in their films of late. Captain America Brave New World, especially Thunderbolts. Name the other films.
Honestly, everything since Endgame.
By the way, I did watch Captain America, the Black Captain America. I watched. It took me like 2 attempts to finish it, because I've never actually been that disappointed, because they had the Red Hulk there and what, it just was so contrived. Man, the writing is actually quite bad. These people are being held up by these technicians, as I keep saying. These animators, VFX, those are the lighting, cinematographers, editors. Those are the people that are holding these people up. But the story and the actors, nah.
Yeah, everything since Endgame has been quippy joke, nothing matters. What makes this movie stand apart, and is even less a superhero movie than a science fiction film about a major threat that can destroy and kill everyone on Earth, and for heroes that rise to meet that threat and what they must sacrifice in order to defeat said villain. And it is taken with utmost seriousness. Now there's humor with The Thing, and
You have to be, how do we say, they have to be real stakes. You know, the one of the what things that I hate the most about the current, say, Hollywood movies is where there's no real stakes. Like, for example, and this started with, the Endgame. And, everybody was, Thanos snapped and half the people went. And then the next movie, they just tried to bring them back. So there was no real stake in that. The ending of that movie, that's the best movie that they've ever done. The ending was perfect. There was tremendous loss. And there was no better platform for spring back up other than that. Like the next movie was like, there's no need for all this multiverse, time travel, blah blah. It's just diluted everything for me. I didn't mind it so much, but that was a big, how do you say, a fake plot, a plot line where you're just using it to escape, but it doesn't really fully satisfy the story. It should have, the people who are remaining should have just gone ahead to fight Thanos. There should have been more motivations, and the way he found out that this had happened and whatnot, that he was doing the thing, and then multiverse, and then the memories switch. That was just horrible, horrendous. That all that would have been removed and exchanged for better plot lines that only dealt with the people that had remained. And that I'm sure it would have done even much better. It would have had a much longer shelf life, in my view.
a Human Torch and little Between the Family, jokey there, like a family. But the events of the film itself are taken with deep seriousness. We haven't seen that in so long. I forgot what that was like. Like, you feel the impending doom of what is about to come with Galactus. And there are action sequences here where there are stakes, and there's not a joke here at all.
Mhm.
It's really taken with the level of seriousness. And we also,
I don't think you always have to have the comedy relief person or scenes. It's totally not necessary in some stories, especially when you're having like a cataclysmic kind of event, like this being all powerful is coming to destroy the earth. Okay, that trope is also a bit tired. Yeah, whatever. But it is what it is. But it's just the scale, like is this person an alien or whatever. Like they build such powerful people that really, that's kind of the logical end that there are threats to the world. Yeah. Anyway.
also saw, this is no spoiler, no surprise. It's in everything. Sue gives birth. We've never seen a birth in the Marvel universe. So let me just hit the highlights too. Pedro Pascal is insufferable. I can't stand. I'm saying Pedro Pascal is insufferable. I don't like his political takes. I don't like him on social media. He is also overexposed as an actor. In the last few months, I've seen him in two other movies which I liked.
Yeah, you liked all Pedro Pascal movies this year.
Well, I did, but let me explain. It is true he's insufferable. It is true he's overexposed.
He's so cringe. Oh my god. These all characters, they always kind of trying to overdo things, try to pretend they're the most moral, or all this social justice. He's so cringe. Oh my god. But you see, that's the thing. A lot of these people, when they get like one person who's talented, they overuse the person because, and also is talented and is following the woke rules. They overuse the person, they give him all the opportunities, and that's what drives the other people to follow the same ideology. See, it's actually quite genius.
It can also be true he's a very good actor. Now, is he the Reed from the comics? He is not. He is a different take on Reed, but it works for this movie. And that's what I'll say about that. I think, he I'll just say if you don't like Pedro, there's nothing I can say. But he doesn't ruin the movie. He actually, he actually, it's almost a toned down version of him. You may disagree. Now, if we get into the powers, love the way Johnny's powers work. Great. The Thing, oh my God, it's Jack Kirby. But Reed's powers are so weak in this. He's almost like Spider-Man. He kind of stretches and he kind of climbs and swoops around and swings.
He uses his powers to swing from building to building.
Yeah, and that's what he uses. Now, if you know the comics, there's so many other ways Reed can use his powers, not just to stretch. And, draw on a chalkboard that's 10 feet away. There's other things he can do, and they really did not use his powers. I guess you could say his powers is his mind. Each of them has attributes that I think are beyond the physical powers. Thing is a great pilot.
The thing is, when you have superheroes, you kind of have to write around their weaknesses more so that it creates for more interesting stories, because the powers sometimes they can be overwhelming, so it just destroys everyone and wins, so there's no story. So the weaknesses they have, and probably when they have to use their mind more and think more, it creates for better story arcs. When you do that, because it forces you to actually write out a sequence of things that would work in whatever situation the scene calls for or whatever. So it when you are trying to not just say you went and punched the place and finished the whole damn place, it tries maybe to do that, then they're not able to because their powers are not sufficient. Then they have to think through how to overcome whatever the situation is. So that creates for better stories. Just,
He's brave. Sue, while she's not as girl bossy, I mean, look, some people are hypersensitive to that, her girl bossness, but there's a cringe thing in the beginning where she brokers some world peace deal with countries. And I just rolled my eyes. I don't ever remember that in the comics. I remember Sue baking a cake and wearing an apron. Now, that's a little dated. Let's not do that. There's a happy medium. And she's a strong...
Why? Why can't you just do it like that? Why do you have to strike a happy medium to please the work? Come on, just write it the way it is. If you want to do a happy medium, do another story and do a happy medium there. Pick another franchise, start another franchise, do your happy mediums there. It's not necessary to always kowtow. Just do the character as they are written. It's not necessary to add things for ideological purposes or extract things for ideological purposes. And I think that's where a lot of, because there's no honest art that way, where you're just trying to strike a balance instead of just writing an authentic story the way you see it. Because that's the problem, when you're ideologically possessed, like an ideology you have where that if you're writing, you're always counter-checking. Am I hurting people's feelings? Am I doing that? Like, you can't write that way. And that's why a lot of stories feel contrived, because people are trying to create situations that are not normal or wouldn't otherwise work or actually be, how do you say, they won't resonate with the people watching. It's because people are contriving these stories, trying to sanitize them just to fit in whatever this fake world they've created. So I don't agree with that.
Character in the way that she's
not a ditz. Let's put it that way.
And she's trying to protect her child. I feel like her girl bossness, whatever you can say, actually comes from a place that we understand, because any good mother, you try to do anything to their child, a good mother, you have awoken a beast. And that's what Sue is for the movie.
If they actually went there like protective mother, that I'm guessing that maybe it was done well. But if there's any of that girl boss behavior doesn't come through when you're talking about nurturing mothers. No, it doesn't. And I don't believe that's actually that's actually why I need to watch this. Because a lot of people are interpreting it and sieving it through their ideologies instead of just trying to look at things more objectively. Just try and extract yourself from the ideologies, because these are natural instincts. Parents protecting their kids, a natural instinct. How you show that is what will attract people to, because people, yeah, if somebody tries to do that to my kid, you've had it, and that's what pulls you in. So there's no aspect of girl bossiness in doing that. That's actually a very traditional role with women.
She really is her
The new women just kill them in their bellies,
her strength comes from her being protective of her child, of Franklin, who we see born in the movie.
That would be a really good motivator, because if you see the child born, they went through the process of actually showing that. They don't really normally show that. They're trying to get you to attach yourself to this situation. New mother, newborn, most vulnerable creatures we have around, and that pulls in your animalistic instinct, And you see, that kind of writing does lend itself to the natural, not forced human instincts. And that's what we really respond to when it comes to storytelling.
Way that I thought it was going to get, they did it in a clean way you would do in a movie that's tasteful, but it's the first birth of a child in the Marvel universe. The other thing I'll point out is Reed and Sue have a good relationship. They're
definitely in love.
They're but Reed as portrayed by Pedro has the same flaw that Reed had in the comics. He's less a leader in this, but more of a distracted nerd that cares about the parts and this thing and this machine, whatever. He's so distracted with science and
saving the world
that he's not the best husband. That's from the comics too. I recall that. It's like in the comics, he's so obsessed with solving the problem, he doesn't see the family in front of him. And I got to say, Ben Grimm, so good.
I think saving the world trumps being around for your family, if you know what I mean. If that's the case, that he's trying to work out a problem, which means that would result in saving the entire human species, that trumps. Because that's when the wife's like, yeah, man, this guy is like trying to save the world, man, I better just pull up. You see, that I'm talking like this because of storylines, how you would write it otherwise. Because sometimes you might write it to show the normal, the husband is working so hard to provide for the family, but the wife is feeling left out because he doesn't spend time with the. Or you could, because that's the normal trope, or you could make the wife understand, like a normal person, that, hey, the world is coming to an end. This guy needs to put all his efforts. So I need to really double down and take care of my child. I think that would also sell good. And it will actually show selflessness and sacrifice that is appreciated, especially whether it's for a greater good. You know what I'm saying? So that when you're writing these stories, there has to be a more immersive thought process. Not just me. I want me, and me. You know, me, I'm like this, so my character must be. That's how people write characters these days.
Actually, the voice didn't bug me. Once you get used to it, it's actually good. Ibn Masbakarak's voice is good in the film. And the way the sound effects of the thing moving or walking, it's always it's like someone 2,000 pounds walking next to you. So I gotta say, all the actors really, they did a good job. They didn't phone it in. You really buy them. And
by the way, this video is 21 minutes long. I'm not going to react to all of it. Please go to Film Thread, the Fantastic Four First Steps review, and watch the rest of it. I have stopped it at 8 minutes 42 seconds. I'll leave the link to the video in the description below. So yeah, so that this is, I guess, something that I've wanted to do more and more, just the way things are, but it's going to happen more and more. Just reviewing what other reviews are saying, to try also, and in this process also try and give whatever knowledge that I have towards writing better stories, because I think that's where it all begins. I think you can do really well with a very good script with even weak cinematography. If you have a really good script and you have really good performances from actors, there's a lot you can get away with, because that's what people care about more and more. Anyway, they've always cared about that. You have to write really stories that pull people in, put them on the bums, and make them sit there until if they're going to the toilet, they're going looking back. So you know how something is so interesting that as you're walking away, you're still taking pics back so you don't miss anything. And that's the level. I miss that kind of effect. I miss being able to watch a movie and anticipate the next scene. I hope this is it, at least the beginning. And as I was telling you guys, things have changed quite a bit in the last year or so in Hollywood. As a lot of the woke stuff that was released is things that were commissioned 2, 3, 4 years back when the woke thought they ran everything. Even despite the fact that they're making losses, they thought they ran everything and we just bulldozed this. Then, of course, the arrangement came in. A lot of things have changed. Social media has changed in terms of the restrictions they used to put on popular dissent against a lot of these ideological pushes in movies. A lot has changed. So I'm hoping this is one of those that they are really coming back to just telling us human stories, that everything doesn't need to be sieved through their progressive activism or their sexualities or their identities or their whatnot, just the human experiences that we all share as human beings. And I think you'll have much better results if you write stories that way, addressing the human condition, not the black man or the black woman or the this, nah, or the gay or the trans or the, no. Nobody cares about those conditions as much as you want us to. The thing is, there's a lot we share, even with those trans and what as humans. There's a lot we share. And that's where the best stories are written. So the creativity is being able to weave through stories that can express that the best way, to make us care about these characters and what's going on about them, going on with them in these stories. So yeah, so that's my reaction to this video. Please subscribe to the channel, Road to 10,000. Leave a comment down there. What do you think of this review? And then the like or dislike for the algorithm. But like is preferable. Cheers! Until next time.